Hi, it's Jane Nicole here from Love to Be Beautiful. Thank you for joining me today. Today I'm in my boxing get up because I'm going to teach you how to fight for your broken life. It's time to fight. If you've been battling with low self-esteem, crazy relationships that just take you through the ringer, lack in your finances, fighting all the time on your job, you don't have the job that you want, then you come to the right place. If you missed last week's video, it was part 1 on how to rebuild your broken life. And I discussed 5 ways to reconnect with yourself. Check that out, it's in the description below. But before that, if you missed the previous week's video on why you and your life are broken, you really need to watch that because that is the base for this topic that I'm discussing today. So welcome and let's fight. Okay, so I'm not a fighter. I've actually never been in a fight, but 2 things that I notice about fighting. You are protecting yourself, meaning you're in the defense, and you're being the aggressor, meaning you're fighting to knock the other opponent down. And any good fighter knows that it is a mental battle. The fight is always in your head before you even get into the ring. Your mind when you're fighting has to always be fixed on the goal, on the object, on what you're trying to do, what you're trying to accomplish. Because there's always going to be things that come in and distract you when you're trying to rebuild something new. What are you trying to rebuild? You're trying to rebuild your self-esteem. You're trying to rebuild your finances. You're trying to rebuild your mindset on how you feel and how you think about the world. If your life is broken and if you've been neglecting yourself, there are some fundamental things that you believe about yourself that have to go. So if you compare this to a person that's trying to plant seeds and trying to grow fruit or grow a garden or grow crops in the field, they go in and they have to do a lot of work, a lot of prep work. They have to do a lot of manual labor to get those seeds in the ground. Once those seeds sprout up from the ground, there's weeds that come up and try to choke the seeds out. There's birds that come in and try to eat the seeds. There's bugs that try to come in and eat the new plants that are there. So in a fighting mentality, you have to be aggressive, fighting and protecting to keep those things until they sprout up and they have a chance to grow. Also, when you're waiting for the thing that you planted to grow, you have to realize that there is a shedding season. And what that means is there's some things that have to fall off before the plant and the fruit can grow, or before the tree can grow fruit. The leaves fall off, winter comes, and then when the spring comes, the tree sprouts flowers, and then the fruit begins to grow. So you have to remember, whenever you're going in planting some new idea in your mind, you're going to have things that are going to come up against it. It could be your previous mindset. It could be people that you think are your friends. It could be people that sleep next to you and you have your last name, okay? So you have to remember that going in and have a plan. Just like the fighter, the mindset is, I always have to be protecting what could come against me. I always have to be thinking about what is going to be my next move and how I'm going to shield myself. I always have to be changing my mind every day, getting up in the morning, praying over myself, asking God for direction, asking God for help and guidance on how am I going to fight against the things that will come against me today. Some people go throughout their whole day, their whole life without planning anything. That's crazy. All of this strength to fight comes from one place. All of the ideas that you have behind you, pushing you and molding you into who you're supposed to be, come from one place. All of the things that you need and all the assistance that you need to win in life come from one place. And that's from heaven. That's from God, from your Creator. If you don't know who God is, if you don't know what you were created to do, if you don't know what has been put inside of you that's supposed to sprout up and be given to the whole world, then I suggest that you take some time to think about that, to consider that, to ask the hard questions. Why am I here? What was I created to do? Who am I supposed to touch? Who am I supposed to affect? Well, I can tell you the first person that you're supposed to affect is yourself. You're supposed to love on yourself first before anyone else. And if you look at the scripture in Matthew, that when Jesus was asked, what is the greatest commandment? His answer was to love God with all that you have, and then love your neighbor as yourself. But you can't love your neighbor if you don't already love yourself. So when you're going out there thinking, oh, should I get into another relationship? Should I try this job? Should I get this new thing? That's a great thing to think. But first, do you have already the things inside of you that you've taken the time to put into your own ground to grow up, to be ready for that thing that you're asking for? Get to know yourself, get to know God, love him with all that you have. And the first way to do that is to show respect. You know what? Yesterday I picked up my daughter from school, and as soon as she got in the car, she's like, where are we going? What are we doing? I need this and I need that. And she didn't even speak to me. And I pulled the car over. I took my glasses off and I turned around and I said, you know what? I'm disappointed in the way that you're acting right now. And she's only 7. So she has some things that she needs to learn. But I said, I'm disappointed right now in the way that you're treating me. Because I always provide everything for you. I always think about what you need before you need it. I always make sure you have everything and you're very well taken care of. I said, I'm a person too, and I have feelings. And I said, when you get in this car, you greet me. You say hello. You ask me, how are you doing? So when you go to prayer, when you go to talk to God, show him respect for who he is, the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. He's the one that created you and gave you breath and life and thoughts and ideas and your life and your children and your family. He's the one that gave you all of that. So show him some respect that he deserves and say hello. Thank you for who you are. Thank you for what I have. Show me what I need to do. And when you're talking to him, ask forgiveness, repent. If you're trying to build something and plant something new, you've got some things in the way. So you need to recognize that I don't always think the right way. If you thought the right way, then you would have some success in the things that you're not successful in. So you have to recognize that and say, you know what? I'm going to humble myself. I'm going to go a little bit lower and I'm going to ask for help. And you're going to admit, I don't know what I'm thinking. I don't know how I'm supposed to be thinking or how I'm supposed to be feeling in this situation. Can you help me? And in that time, you invite God and all of the angelic assistance and all of the resources that he has for you to come in and help you. And you'll notice that you'll feel better immediately, that you'll feel reconnected immediately. So when you're fighting for your life, you have to protect yourself and you have to be aggressive to fight for the things that you want. But I have to say that you are worth something, you have value, you are worth fighting for. The other day I was watching this show called Bizarre Foods with Andrew Zimmern. Watch the show, okay, first of all. He eats weird things, all kinds of crazy things, and it's interesting. But there was some fish or whatever. He was taking something out of a net. I think it was an eel. And he said, I'm not worried about this thing. I'm at the top of the food chain. And that just set off in my mind a chain of ideas. And I said, yeah, we are at the top of the food chain. How could we be any less valuable? How could we not be the best when everything on this earth was created for our enjoyment, for our success, for our our resources, for our liberty? Everything on this earth was created for you. You were at the top of God's mind when he created this earth. So to think that you're anything less than is dishonoring God, and you dishonor yourself. So I want to end there. Fight for your life. Get up every day and do what you already know you're supposed to do. If you're supposed to get up at a certain time, get up. If you're supposed to pray, pray. If you're supposed to exercise, eat better, Get organized, let go of that ugly, nasty friend that you have. Get out of that bad, toxic relationship with that man who doesn't love you. If you're supposed to be looking for a new job, getting back in school, learning a new skill or craft, reading a book, whatever it is that you're supposed to do that God put on your mind and your heart, get to work. And realize that you're going to have to fight to keep it. You're going to have to fight to stay where you are. You're going to have to fight for your children, for your family, and for the future generations. And you're going to have to, most of all, fight for yourself. Fight for the honor of yourself. Fight for your self-honor. So I want to thank you for joining me today. I want to invite you to leave a comment below and let me know, what are you fighting for? Why are you here? I'm here because I was created to help women. Everything that I do has been involved in infusing some type of inspiration into women. So follow me on Instagram and Facebook, and I'll link that here, or actually in the description box below, so that you can get inspirational quotes and messages every single day I'm putting something up. And like, comment, and subscribe. Share this with somebody that you know who needs to hear this message, that it's time for them to fight. And I'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.